This is a bit of an unconventional fly that you just might want to give a try. We'll start off with some red thread. Here I'm using UTC 140. Secure it to your hook shank, wrapping back towards the bend of your hook. With this complete, we'll continue wrapping over the same thread wraps to begin to build up some bulk for our body. You can continue to do so using your thread and it'll look a bit smoother. However, it will take quite a while, so instead, we'll grab some floss, the color red, snip a small section free, trim up any tag ends, before securing it tightly to your hook shank, wrapping back towards the bend of your hook. Here, we'll reverse our direction once more before whip finishing if you have a rotary vise. Setting our thread aside before grabbing our floss, wetting it slightly, and using your vice's rotary function to begin wrapping it forward to build up some bulk for our body. We'll continue wrapping forward about halfway up the hook shank before reversing the direction back down towards the bend of the hook. And we'll continue to do so until we have a significant body, focusing on making the center a little bit wider. With this complete, we'll grab our thread, secure the floss in place, and snip your excess free. At which point, in order to smooth it over a little bit, we'll continue wrapping over it with our thread, making it fairly even and slightly smoother than it would look just with the floss. Once complete, we'll whip finish once more to secure everything in place, snip our thread free, and swap it out for a black thread. Once again, I'm using a 140 UTC as the flat thread makes bodies a little more uniform and have a better look. We'll lay down a thread base, this time working up towards our hook eye, before grabbing some more black floss, snipping some excess free, and securing it tightly to the head of our fly, this time wrapping back towards our red body, returning our thread once more to the head of the fly, and whip finishing to hold it in place. We'll set our thread aside, wet our floss, and begin wrapping it forward, once again, using the rotary function of our vise. We'll continue with a similar pattern as before, building up some bulk that's a bit wider in the middle than it is on the edges. Once complete, we'll grab our thread and begin securing and smoothing over the body. Snip your excess free and continue with your thread until the majority of the floss is covered up. With this complete, we'll whip finish once more, snip our thread free. And as you notice, there's still some floss sticking through. A simple way to fix this is to take a lighter, briefly passing it over, to burn off any of these fibers. While it might not seem like much, it can make this next step look quite ugly. We'll then grab some UV resin and paint it over the back of our fly, starting with the red section, and we'll continue to use our vice's rotary function so it all doesn't droop to one side. At which point, we'll do the same at the head of the fly, and if you don't have a rotary vise, you can use a thicker UV resin or paint it over in smaller amounts at a time. Once happy, we'll fix in place with the UV light before grabbing our black thread once more and resecuring it between the two bodies. Snip your excess free, grabbing some saddle hackle, plucking a single piece free, measuring the fibers to be as long as you'd like, stripping your excess free so we can use the stem to secure it in place. Snip your excess free before grabbing your saddle hackle, folding the fibers backwards, and hackling it forward until we reach our thread. At which point, we'll secure it tightly in place, taking thread wraps both in front, as well as behind, and snipping our excess free. Whip finish to hold it all together, slightly pushing back our collar. Seat your knot and snip your excess free, before painting it over with a bit more UV resin and fixing it in place. And this is a multicolor wet fly ant that was requested for a custom order. It's an interesting pattern that can be tied in many different styles. You could even leave out the longer wet fly fibers, or swap them out for something shorter. But it's an interesting pattern that you might want to give a try. So thank you for watching. Subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next one.